with the Maryland SPCA. I'm one of the trainers, and this beast in front of me is my dog Carly. So today we're going to talk about the PREMAC principle. You're saying, what? What's the PREMAC principle? Well, it's also known as Grandma's Law. And you're saying, what the heck is that? Well, PREMAC principle is about more probable behavior that's reinforced by less probable behavior. You're probably still thinking, huh? What? So to break it down into simple terms, because I like simple terms myself, think of your grandmothers all over the world. Grandma's Law. So Grandma's Law is you have to eat your vegetables before you eat your dessert. So same kind of thing. So from a dog's perspective, they need to do something less motivating to be able to do something more motivating. So a good example of that in dog terms would be chasing a ball. So dogs love to chase a ball. Some dogs aren't so happy about bringing it back and dropping it. So that would be the vegetable part of the training, where tossing the ball and running after it would be the dessert part. So what we're going to work on today is an eye contact exercise using Grandma's Law, or the PREMAC principle. So teaching eye contact with your dogs is one of the most important things you can teach them to help them with their self-control. If they're looking at you, they're not looking at something else, and they're more likely to listen. So rather than us telling the dog what to do, the hardest part for us humans is to be quiet. So we're going to demonstrate that with Carly right here. So the food's going to be in my hands right here. And I'm going to see if I can do this way. So it's right here, so she can smell it. It's out right here. Yes, good girl. All I want her to do is look at me. She's done this a little before, so she's going to make me look like a pretty good trainer. So it goes out. Yes, good girl. Notice I say yes, and I mark that when she looks away. The moment she looks away is what we're going for. So here's the food. So there's a little alluring there, I'll confess. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. I want her to look right at me. Yes, good girl. You only want to do it a few times. You don't want to keep doing this over and over again, because they get kind of tired. It's a 2 to 3 minute little exercise. You could try it with toys too.
Hello, I'm Erin, and this is Crescent and Brody, my two dogs. They are very different in terms of their motivation to fetch objects. Crescent, being a herding breed, loves to chase things. This little guy, not as much. So essentially, by bringing the ball back, which is his version of a vegetable, he gets his dessert by having the item tossed, and he gets to go chase it. So if you have a dog that also will play with toys but maybe not necessarily bring it back to you, instead of throwing the ball at a far distance, what you can do is actually start close, reinforce your dog for bringing it back, and then gradually throw it a little bit farther away each time. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to toss the ball really close to me. Come here, yay! And give him a goodie for bringing it back at a close distance. Each time I'm going to start throwing it just a teeny bit farther away. Good boy, Brady! Yay! Yes! And I'm also praising him and encouraging him to bring it back. So if you have a dog that maybe gets there and kind of holds the ball in their mouth or takes off with it and isn't quite sure what to do, that's going to help encourage him to bring it back to you. A little farther. Good boy! Come on, boy! Yay! Yes! Good job! All right. And again, as your dog gets better and better with this, you can start throwing it farther away so that you get a much greater distance with your fetch. Ready? Yeah. So unlike Crescent, who is extremely motivated to chase and fetch, regardless of whether or not there's any other reinforcement involved. Brody here really could care less about fetch, but sometimes if it's a rainy day and maybe we're inside and I want him to fetch things just to burn off some energy, I might add a little something extra. So for him, bringing back the ball sometimes means that he gets a little treat reward. Not every single time, but sometimes we get that nice little lottery effect. He doesn't quite know when he's gonna get the goodie. So by fetching the ball, his vegetable, he gets dessert for bringing it back.